Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronny's Garage. Welcome to our monthly tech meet for the Rolls-Royce Owners Club of Southern California. And we will be overhauling the rear calipers for an 85 Corniche. Right there. Okay, right now I'm gonna... These are not bad. You can see I'm taking a little bit of Scotch-Brite and this is coming up clean. There's not much rust. And mineral oil cars, like I said, don't accumulate much rust.
Are you going to flush that out after you clean it?
I might blow it out.
No liquid flush?
You can do that, brake cleaner. My hose go.
Is that a single caliper per rotor or dual?
The rears are single calipers but quad pistons. The fronts are dual calipers with single pistons.
Oh, it's true.
Well, two on each caliper. All right, so.
But they still need to equalize the pressure between the two.
That's part of Pascal's law, I think, where pressure equalizes. It is. Doesn't make sense. People complain about the brakes pulling because you need to bleed the brakes out. No, you need to fix your suspension. You've got bushings out. The brakes are pulling. Or there's something else, one caliper season. I laid that O-ring in there and it's cockeyed. Anybody wants to take a look in there? You can see it's not laying in there flush, right? Mm-hmm. The new one? See how it's sticking out over here?
Mm-hmm. Over there.
So, oh, I got your mic now. So now, if you run your finger in there, you can feel that the bottom edge is stuck out. Go ahead and somebody try it. You can feel that the bottom edge sticks out a little
Yeah,
more.
you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's because of the angle of the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Dangle.
Okay, so then put your new O-rings in there, square cut O-rings. Make sure they're square. Now, if you don't make sure that they're in their channel right, when you push this piston in, you're going to nick it. You're going to buy a whole new kit because they don't sell them by the piece. As you can see, this piston really doesn't have any corrosion on it. You can see little wear, little varnish there. And out here, this is way outside. That's where I grabbed it with this.
What's that piston made of?
Steel. A lot of times they're chrome plated. Okay, so I'm going to use a slow glide on this. And this is much like that other lubricant we talked about earlier. And I usually lay it pretty thick on the metal up above there and let it go down to the rubber. That's just the way I like to do it.
Little dab.
Are you hitting the O-ring as well?
Uh-huh. Now there is a drawback to putting too much lubricant on this when you go to put the boots on. So anyways, I think I put a little on that, just a slight smear.
There, you can put the piston in any position and you don't have to.
Yeah, they're the same size on this,
size.
yeah. Just don't put them upside down.
Is that a problem?
It could be.
Is it good practice to put them on the same board they came out of?
I don't know. I've never even thought about it because they're all the same size. It's not like they rotate, they just go in and out. Okay, so those went in pretty easy, didn't they? Here's the fun part. Usually requires glove removal. This is your dust seal.
Okay.
It's supposed to keep out dust and water. So we gotta...
Is there a right way and a wrong way? Or they're both?
Well, there is a right way and a wrong way. You have to... And if you get one of these kits and you're looking and you're missing a square O-ring, look inside one of these boots. They get stuck in there sometimes. I've done it. Called the dealer, and I found it. Yes. This is the side that goes towards the piston. You can see how it fits down into the channel, and then it has a lip that goes like this. It goes outside out here. Okay, now this is the tricky part. Putting these things on. If you're doing an earlier car and you get a kit for it, the kit will come with round rings, and the original ones are square. I recommend you use the square ones because they're much easier to put on. They don't want to roll off. You have to stretch this and put it over there. It's really maddening sometimes. See that? So you got to stretch it enough to get over there, and then you got to kind of get this so.
Work it
There
down.
we go. That's pretty close. So then you walk away, you come back, and bing.
It's popped out.
Yeah. So if you get a lot of this lubricant on the outside, they're going to do that. Or if you get it on the rubber boot, it's going to do that. There we go.
I hate it when the rubber comes on.
This one's got a huge hole in it. Okay, now we're going to change this parking brake pad, which is held in with a spring.
You got everything from Flying Spurs?
Spares,
Oh, spurs. Flying Spurs.
Dealerships don't carry this stuff anymore, hardly. Oh, hardly ever. So that means I have to stock parts nowadays.
So there's no local sources? We have to go over the pond to get this?
Well, where you live, Rosneft might
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
Yeah, it all depends on the dealership.
Yeah, they're pretty good about carrying whatever they can from Peru.
Good, yeah, it all depends.
But you
Big-
might have to wait. She'll order it for you.
Right. Okay, now these are handed, these brake pads. As you can see, there you go. To the left and the right. So you want to put this on the right direction. And the reason is this, the rotor comes through here. So if you put this one on there, then it's only going to be biting on half of it. So as I recall, the spring holds that on. And it's been many years since I've changed one of these, so let's see what happens here. So what I did, get the spring off of here. And, I think like I said, it has been, I think I've changed one set of these once before. There we
do
go.
both of them is about a 4-8 hour job in and out.
5. It's kind of a pain. And then when you, like on this one, I had one of the fittings round off, so I have to drill it out and replace it. So that just adds to it. Sometimes people are a little heavy-handed when they do things. There we go. So what I did is lose the spring. This spring is what holds that brake pad in there. It's a little tweaked right now. And you can see, let's see, this hooks into a hole here.
I gotcha.
And then this part of the spring was hooked into this slot. So it's just spring tension, light spring tension, because this is not going to come out once it's in the car, first of all, because it's pretty tight in there. So now the trick is to get this all back together without overstretching the spring. Oh, it's pretty easy. Not too bad.
What's the average life of a pad? I know it's a loaded question.
Well, there is no average life of a brake pad because it depends on
On your
the
braking.
weight of the car, the driver, where it's driven.
Yeah, up and down.
Is 20,000 miles a reasonable expectation?
So you're asking for mileage, and I've
just
seen
got-
people
yeah.
wear them out in 8,000.
Yeah.
It depends on the driver. It's all dependent.
Now, on these,
They're not, you got a lot of hills and stuff.
Right, the hills are killer on brakes.
Yeah.
You can smell it when you drive down the hills.
but the back brakes don't really grab as much as the
Right,
fronts.
about 70% is up
Usually,
front.
yeah, usually the backs go twice as long as the fronts. Is what
That's
I
a good
found.
rule of thumb, yes.
Yeah.
Because they're on the same car of the same driver
Yeah.
in the same conditions.
Now, when you get your pads, since you're from Flying Spares, there's no choice on type of brake pads. It's one size.
Well, you can
fits
buy
all.
the factory, or you can buy, they have aftermarkets which are very close to factory. I use the aftermarket. These pads I'm going to reuse, they're not worn out.
Yeah, because if you get the ceramic, you get zero brake dust basically. Keeps the wheel nice and clean.
If the brake fluid contaminates the pad, in other words, soaks
That's-
up on it, this was just starting to leak. You can see it's just a little bit of residue. But if the brake pad was all wet, this has still got about 6 millimeters left. They start out with 10, so it's a
that's
couple
a lot.
$100 right there at least. So I'm not replacing them. I recommend on the Rolls to use the type with this rubber backing on them, because that helps reduce that squeal that
Yeah, the
you
shim.
have.
They don't have shims on, so you're gonna put the,
Yeah, the earlier ones had metal shims. Yeah.
or else you got to coat them with the.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. It was really. I worked at a Jaguar dealership for a number of years, and that was the bane. That's my brake squeal.
Well, you get the chatter, you know.
Well, chatter's something else.
Well, there's a glue that goes on the back that stops the chatter, supposedly.
Supposedly, it's more like a rubber insulation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I think the shim's.
And one of the drawbacks of surfacing a rotor is that you get this big spiral cut like an LP, and that will make brakes squeal. That's why when you get them new from a dealership, you'll see that they're all cross-hatched like a piston cylinder. It's got to have the crosshatch, and that helps reduce the sound. So. But anyways, let's finish up here. Steve's got almost out of tape. So that side's done. Now we'll do this side, and since I don't have a good, well, I can try grabbing that. Oops. These I've already washed the outside. I put them in my parts washer. You can see that one's definitely
Yeah.
leaking there. It's wet on the inside. Now, when you pull these out with these channel locks, make sure you don't get them down lower and grab it down there, because you'll damage the seal surface.
You recommend, or what's your opinion on it? I mean, you have to replace the rotors in the rear. Might as well just rebuild this at the same time, even though it doesn't.
You know, that's a great idea. If it's been in a factory manual, there is a service interval for doing this. I think it's 10 years. They want you to do it, and I think the reasoning is they know that it's going to fail within a certain time after that. But the cost is, when you do some of those factory maintenances at the high mile or high years, you can spend $10,000 on a service.
Yeah, it's kind
But it's pretty extensive, and it's designed so that you'll have more trouble-free operating. So it's a good idea.